Hey, it's the Empire, Geoboxing Empire, back to boxing. Now, man, it's wild news, man. Wild news indeed. My boy, Canelo Alvarez, man, is talking about going up to cruiserweight, to the cruiserweight division right now and fighting the best of the best. Who's the best of the best? Well, he's gonna fight a champion, man. Mukabe. And it's wild stuff, man. Canelo Alvarez, nobody's seen this coming. We were talking about him fighting guys like, Dave Benavidez, Jamal Charlo. No one was really talking about these light heavyweights because we all assumed that, man, these guys are just too big. Not only does Canelo Alvarez skip the 175 division, but he goes up to fight Mukabe, right? Mukabu. Sorry, I had the African name, man. It throws me off. But so that being said, man, this is going to be a really big deal for the division. But one of the champions, man, they had something to say. Now, it's wild stuff, man. The current WBO champion, Lawrence Okolie, has things to say about Canelo Alvarez going up to fight Mukabu for the cruiserweight belt, right? Now, Lawrence Okolie, he says, and I quote, "I get it. Canelo is a effing G, but that's another belt I can't unify right now." And then he has the laughing emoji, right? Basically, that being said, he's basically saying that, yeah, Canelo's going to be fighting Mukabu, but, we all know what time it is. He's going to get this one win and dip out of the division. He's not going to really fight the big dog and do a pool of undisputed like he tried to do at 168, right? Is he going to fight all the time, guys? Well, that's not what Lawrence Okolie thinks. He said that's another belt he can't unify. So this is a really big deal, man. Canelo Alvarez coming to the cruiserweight division to fight Mukabu. Lawrence Okolie is a big dog, man. Understand, the guy has a deep resume. Out of 17 wins, he has 14 knockouts, and he's undefeated. And if you actually look at his record, he's fought 5 undefeated fighters since he turned pro. So, so that's a really big deal, man. 5 undefeated fighters since he turned pro, and actually the last fighter he fought was an undefeated fighter as well, and Dillian Prozovic, right? Stopped the guy, didn't even go a distance. So that being said, man, my boy Lawrence Okolie's a hard hitter. He knocked the guy in round 3, and he's he's basically a protege of Anthony Joshua. I actually think he fights on Anthony Joshua's promotion. Right, so Lawrence Okolie is supposed to be the next guy coming up, and he has Anthony Joshua's blessing. So that's a really big deal. He's basically like the new next big thing in the UK right now. Now, one fight I really like from Lawrence Okolie that shows that he's a really elite level fighter. Lawrence Okolie is known as a pure boxer, but understand he can get down and dirty, right? And that fight was Isaac Chamberlain, right? Isaac Chamberlain is a phenomenal fighter. The guy only has one loss, and that's to Lawrence Okolie himself. So that being said, if you actually watch that fight, Lawrence Okolie, he imposed himself on Isaac Chamberlain, right? He got rough with him. He fought him on the inside. He bullied him. He basically, the closest thing that I can throw out there that's a casual fan that everyone knows about, he basically did a Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. He went on the guy. He made it an ugly fight. He fought him on the inside. He beat him up in the clinch, and he won the fight. That's exactly what Lawrence Okolie did to Isaac Chamberlain, man. So, to get a UD. So Lawrence Okolie does not use his height and reach, but he really knows how to use his size and get aggressive with somebody. Because there's a lot of fighters out there who are big fighters, but they don't really know how to impose themselves on you. And, Canelo Alvarez coming from I guess he has a 175 title, but his last fight was at 168 to hop all the way to cruiserweight. He's going to have an extreme size disadvantage. And a lot of guys are just afraid to really, when Canelo gets close, they get shy. Lawrence Okolie would run into Canelo and bully him on the inside. So that would be a really good fight for Lawrence Okolie. In my opinion, he may be able to get past Mukabu, but he won't be getting past no damn Lawrence Okolie. Lawrence Okolie is too big. He knows how to fight in the inside, and he'll just bully Canelo Alvarez, and he has one hell of a chin. That being, he's undefeated, and I never seen him hurt in his career. So that Lawrence Okolie versus Canelo Alvarez fight, that's a really big fight. And I'm glad that he called out Canelo Alvarez by saying, yeah, okay, you're coming up to a cruiserweight, but that's another belt I can't unify. Saying that Canelo Alvarez will get the title, but I mean, are you really going to fight your boy my boy Lawrence Okolie thinks not. He don't think so. So with that being said, man, we're gonna see how the whole thing plays out with Mukabu and Canelo Alvarez. I understand that, you know, Mukabu, he won a title, right? It was a WBC title, right? And it was a good win for him. You know, it was a good win. But understand that Mukabu, you know, I remember him fighting when he was that guy, when he was undefeated, and then he fought Tony Bellew, and Tony Bellew stopped the guy. Well, I guess he had one loss, but besides that, you know, it was like Tony Bellew got stopped, right? And Tony Bellew stopped Mukabu, and it was a really bad knockout, 3rd round knockout, and it was like he kept on straight right, left hook, straight right, left hook, and then basically he caught him on left hook, and the guy Mukabu was out cold, and that's the last time I seen Mukabu. I remember that's the only fight I really watched of the guy, because that knockout was so bad, and Tony Bellew wasn't really known as a power puncher like that, you know. But Tony Bellew looked like Wilder in there when he knocked out Mukabu. So, you know, can this guy have a soft chin? Is his chin suspect? Possibly, man, possibly. Now, besides that, man, he has been on a winning streak. So maybe Tony Bellew is better than what people think. People really need to give Tony Bellew some credit, right? Tony Bellew did go up and stop David Haye. People need to remember that as well. But, you know, that being said, man, you know, Mukabu is a good fighter, but was this what everyone was really asking for? No, not really. People really wanted Canelo Alvarez to fight his peers, and people thought that 175 division was too big for him. Now that he's fighting these cruiserweights, you know, when he finally, if he ever gets to Artur Beterbiev or Dimitri Bivol, nobody wants to see no catchweights. If you're able to fight this Mukabu guy, then you're gonna have to fight these other fighters, champions beneath him, far beneath him, because the 175 division to the cruiserweight division, most sanctioned bodies have it around 200 pounds, 205 pounds. You know, that's a huge jump. That's a huge jump in weight. So that being said, you know, if you can fight a full-fledged cruiserweight, you should be able to fight these light heavyweights easy, no problem. You know, so we're gonna see what happens with Canelo Alvarez, man. Not talking past Mukabu, it definitely is a fight, but I mean, the fight with Beterbiev, the fight with Bivol, the fight with my boy David Benavidez, those are closer fights. Even the fight with Jamal Charlo, those are 50-50 fights, because it's a skill-based. It's a skill-based fight, right? It's not just the guy just being bigger than a guy, and that's all he has is just being bigger. You know, these are skillful fighters, right? So, you know, that's what I really want to see, man. The Rock'em Sock'em thing, the big guy walking down a smaller guy, or the smaller guy walking down a big guy who's been stopped more than once. You know, it's just not exciting. No one was calling for this, right? And not only that, but Canelo Alvarez is going to take one detour to get a padded record and then lead the division. That's what Lawrence Okolie said. He said, man, this guy's not going to unify against me. He's going to get the title and dip out. You know, he gave Canelo a backhand compliment. He said the guy was a G at one point, and then he said, yeah, but he's not going to unify me, man. He's not going to unify me. And it's all facts from Lawrence Okolie. So this is a really big deal, man. Understand that Canelo Alvarez did beat Billy Joe Saunders, UK fighter. He did beat one of the Liam brothers. You know, there's so many of them. Liam Smith, Liam Williams. There's just so many of them. Canelo beat one of those guys. He did beat a lot of UK fighters, Amir Khan. So the UK is well aware of Canelo Alvarez, well aware of him. Not only that, but Eddie Hearn was promoting him at one point. So the UK audience is well aware of Canelo Alvarez. So that being said, man, they're gonna want that revenge, man. They're gonna want that revenge. Lawrence Okolie is saying, listen, you're not gonna fight me. Come on, give it up. You give it up. Let me know how you guys feel about it, though. Lawrence Okolie spoke his piece, man. Said Canelo's scared, really. He ain't gonna unify. He's gonna get a belt and dip out. He's gonna do it for the accolades. Because in history, when you get another big division, people don't really know how great the real guy really is, right? And it's not special to get going up in weight and fighting the 4th best champion, you know, or a champion that we don't know who's the best. You know, I said a long time ago, I'm not a fan of fighters getting one belt here, one belt there, one belt here, one belt there, unless they're becoming undisputed. You know what I mean? Unless they're becoming undisputed. Undisputed is the new thing. That's the new norm now. You know, it's too easy to become a multi-division world champion these days with all these belts running around, especially with people trying to legitimize belts like the Ring Magazine belt. You know, you talk about Tyson Fury, they talk about, oh my God, he's the Ring Magazine champion, as if that's a thing, you know, or the IBO belt. People are trying to legitimize that as well. I mean, if you legitimize the Ring Magazine and the IBO belt, that's 6 world titles all together, including the WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBO. That's way too many. It's so many belts in boxing. To become a multi-division world champion, you can fight for the IBO belt and they'll just call you a champion. If you actually don't know, Pacquiao, when they talk about Pacquiao as like a 9-division champion, people will count the IBO as a world championship title. If you don't, he'll have less than 9 world titles. Things like that. You know, it's insane. It's insane. It's running rampant in sport of boxing. 4 titles is enough. It's just enough. It's enough. You know, and it just looks bad too with the WBC. You know, basically giving guys the go-ahead with they're basically catering their belts to specific fighters, right? Making the franchise title. But that's besides the point. That's for another video. Let me know how you guys feel about Lawrence Okolie though, man, and calling out Canelo Alvarez. I thought it was big dog stuff right there. Big dog stuff. Let me know how you guys feel about it though. Like, comment, subscribe. It's the Empire. Geoboxing Empire. Peace. Geoboxing Empire. Peace.